Hi everyone, I hope you've all had a wonderful week. Well, it's here, the first day of winter. Winter is my favourite season in the mountains, and the colder it is, the more I like it. So bring it on, Mother Nature. In this week's report, we'll check the lake levels, we'll see whether fish are biting. With today being the first day of winter, we'll take a look at what the normal winter weather is like at Lake Eucumbene. There's plenty of stats. Pete Wilson received some great news during the week. We'll see what happened. There's the weather, pick of the week, and this week's fishing meme. Okay, let's start. Here's the report for the week ending the 1st of June 2025. Despite the rain last weekend, Lake Eucumbene continues to tumble, down another 1% this week to sit at 36.6%. That's almost 15% lower than it was this time last year. Other lakes in the mountains rose slightly. Tantanga Dam up 0.6%, and Jindabyne also up 0.6% to 52.8%. Speaking of the lake levels, Craig was back at Old Adaminaby during the week. We posted this pic in last week's report when the lake was sitting at 38% on the 22nd of May. Keep your eyes on the bits of removable cement at the bottom of the main ramp. Here they are on Wednesday the 28th of May, with the lake dropping to 37.4%. That's a drop of 0.6% in just 6 days. Craig also posted this pic he took on the same day, the 28th of May, from Old Adaminaby, showing the first snowfall of the season across the main range. Thanks for the pics and sharing with the group, Craig. Tough fishing conditions for much of the week, with a bit of rain, periods of fog, and gusty winds. Those who braved the conditions were rewarded with some good fish. Pepito and group spent 3 days at Anglers Reach during the week, fishing off the bank in very testing conditions. Despite the weather, the group landing some great fish, including these. The group stayed at Serenity Cabin. The cabin is run by Tiny and Julie Egan, and Pepito wanted to let everyone know it's a ripper of a place to stay. Ideal for a couple of mates who want to try catch dinner, or a couple wanted to fish or explore the local region. Pepito adding Tiny was awesome and provided plenty of tips on where the fish were biting. So if you're heading up to Anglers Reach and want to do what Pepito did and stay at Serenity Cabin, just 400 metres from Illawong Bay, you won't be disappointed. Serenity Cabin has 2 bedrooms with a double bed in each. Both rooms have an ensuite with full linen and towels. Serenity Cabin has a great kitchen, Wi-Fi, satellite TV, a barbecue on the veranda, and a fire pit. Ideal for a few drinks after a day's fishing or touring the area. There's even parking for your boat. The minimum stay is 2 nights. If you'd like to know more, send Tiny a private message via our Lake Eucumbene Facebook group. In last week's report, I put up a short video taken by Daniel, who was fishing at Buckandera with his beautiful blue heeler Ash. Here's another video from Daniel this week. Ash is just beautiful, Daniel, and judging by the feedback and comments received on the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group after the first video, she's fast becoming a bit of a celebrity. Paul wrapped up his recent weekend trip to beautiful Buckandera with these 2 lovely fish. All up, Paul bagged 6 fish and can't wait for his next trip up. Tony Bennett posted another great pic during the week. His good mate and very handy fisherman, Jason Newman, caught this lovely rainbow during the week on the new 55mm mandigree minnow in the spotted dog pattern. Great catch, Jason, and thanks for sharing with the group, Tony. This month, the Commercial Club Albury Fishing Group spent some time up at Anglers Reach. The group booked out the lakeside village, saying it was a very comfortable place to stay. The group said fishing was pretty tough, but most methods produced fish: tassies, bait, and hard bodies. The better fish all came from double clutches, rapalas, bullets, and prezos. Working the lure was that little bit of extra spice that certainly helped. The group said the river was very low while they were there, so didn't bother trying it. The group had a wonderful time in the mountains, and as you can see by the pics, caught some wonderful fish. Since their trip, over 50mm of rain had fallen at the lake, and plenty of fish had schooled up the main arm from Hughes Creek. The group can't wait for their next trip. Glad you enjoyed your time away, and thanks for sharing the group's adventures with us, Adrian. So what's it like at Lake Eucumbene in winter? It's cold. Winter days average around the 7-degree mark, with temperatures occasionally reaching as high as 13 degrees. During cold, snowy outbreaks, it can struggle to reach above 3 degrees and coupled with strong southerly winds, it can feel well below zero at Lake Eucumbene in the middle of the day. On average, it snows at Lake Eucumbene around 8 times a year, with the falls more common in June, July, and August. Heavy snowfalls in original Adaminaby had been known to cut the township off from the outside world for weeks on end, stranding locals and making travel almost impossible. Snowfalls of more than 30 centimetres have been reported around the banks of Lake Eucumbene, but the majority of falls are lighter, usually around 5 centimetres in a single fall. Highlighting the variability of the weather at Lake Eucumbene, snow can fall at any time during the year, and it's even snowed on Christmas morning in the height of summer, but these falls are less common. Nights can be extremely cold, dropping to minus 10 degrees on occasions, but the average minimum is a more moderate minus 1 degree. Parts of Lake Eucumbene, especially around Providence Portal, have been known to freeze up during a run of very cold nights. Speaking of winter, and you know it must be getting colder in the mountains when Tiny Egan starts to rug up. Tiny donning the winter gear this week at Angler's Reach. And great to see you wearing the Lambswool Lake Eucumbene beanie, mate. If anyone watching this video thinks they'd look better than Tiny in a Lambswool Lake Eucumbene beanie, send me a private message via the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group and I'll send you details on how to grab yourself one. Be quick though, they won't last long. The beanies are $35 each, which includes packaging and posting to anywhere in Australia. I'm thrilled to let everyone know that my longtime mate and top bloke Pete Wilson had some wonderful news during the week. Peter's lived in the snowy region just about all his life and absolutely loves the place. I fondly remember our school days where Pete and I would catch the bus from opposite the Big Trout and into high school in Cooma. Most recently, Peter's grown into an accomplished photographer and operates Australian Highcounty Photography. We've seen many of his great photos in our weekly reports. Pete spends most of his spare time up in the mountains and loves to promote the region to others through his photographs. Well, the word has spread, and from Wednesday, the 4th of June, Pete will have a regular spot on Eddie Williams' breakfast radio show. Eddie is also a top guy and spent a few years on Radio 2CC in Canberra, where he filled in regularly for breakfast presenter Mark Parton. So, from Wednesday morning at 7:50 on ABC Radio Southeast New South Wales, Pete will chat with Eddie and share all things high country, the weather, photography, and Lake Eucumbene during winter 2025. Pete focusing on Adaminaby and his photography playground in the northern end of Kosciuszko National Park. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday morning to hear Pete. I know I will be. Good luck, Pete, and please put in a good word for me. You know my dream is to be on radio one day. John posted some more wonderful old photos from his album this week. He took this one in the late 80s of him and friends picnicking near the Eucumbene River downstream from the old bridge at Providence Portal. This one shows probably the first and last taxi to ever park near the Eucumbene River at Kyandra, and yes, it was John's taxi. And finally, here's John and good mate Lem near the Eucumbene River at Kyandra, the river flowing nicely. The boy in the pic is now 40, so John said the pic was taken in around 1992. Thanks for the pics, John. We love seeing them. Lockie visited Lake Eucumbene region last weekend and posted some great photos. Here's one of the kangaroos and a pretty cool rainbow at the Eucumbene River near Denison. Here's one taken at the Eucumbene River, again at Denison, showing the effect of last weekend's rain, the river flowing nicely. It looked like a really cool afternoon too, Lockie. Finally, the Eucumbene River taken from Sawyers Hill at Kyandra. Thanks for sharing the pics with the group, Lockie. Anglers Reach Local and wife of legend Tiny took this amazing pic of a double rainbow over Anglers Reach Arm during the week. What a great pic, and thanks for sharing with the group, Julie. Despite the forecast of some decent follow-up rain in the mountains this week, falls were scattered and light. Pete Wilson recording just 5.3mm this week at Adaminaby. For the first week of winter, cool to cold and showery weather is in the forecast. Maximum temperatures ranging from 13 degrees tomorrow, Monday, to a pretty cold 5 degrees on Wednesday. Up to 10mm of rain is forecast over the next 7 days. Thanks to everyone who posted pics this week. We've had some amazing ones, like this one taken at Anglers Reach on Tuesday by Lorraine. Thanks for the pic, Lorraine. It's a beauty. This week's fishing meme was sent in by Greg, and it's a beauty. When you think you've made the longest cast of your life, and then realise your lure came off. Oh, yes, definitely experienced that feeling a few times over the years. Thanks for posting, Greg. Well, that's the report for this week. I hope you found it useful. As always, I'm happy to take on any feedback or suggestions. And don't forget, if you're looking for more information on Lake Eucumbene, check out the social media channels. There's the website, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified whenever I post up new content. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, tight lines, and bye for now.